Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Living Life and Learning How to Be Independent with Tommy Cunningham. I'm your host, Tommy Cunningham. Today's video, what we are planning to talk a little bit about, and I feel really excited about talking about this, and I can't wait to see what your guys' thoughts are. So if you guys are not yet subscribed to live in life and be more independent, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, so you guys will not miss out on any videos. So today what I'm planning to talk a little bit about is it's like what kind of radio stations that I listen to when I'm like on a trip or something. So like for instance, like what do I listen to? Do I give my mom a chance? Do I give my grandma a chance? Or do I give myself a chance on listening to some good kinds of music? So I was going over looking around like the different radio stuff that is around the radio scanner spectrum, and I kind of found out some really interesting stuff. So, so looking at like for instance the Fredericksburg area, which we all know that's near that kind of has like a couple of my favorite kinds of stations. Like for instance, I listen to this one. It's called 103.1 WIMA. It's from Clever, Virginia, and I used to listen to that station like sometimes like while we are on the road. So like this Thunder 104.5. Now this station plays everything country. So that means that they are going to play like old country. They're going plus for instance like looking around like at their different radio stuff, and like for instance like looking around at different, and I mean different amounts of radio stations lately. Like for instance, sometimes you guys find a good station, and sometimes you guys think of a station that is kind of okay, but you've seen better days on that station. So talking about that station, I'm trying not to say anything negative. You guys know. So right now, right now there's these different places that like to play different kinds of music. Like sometimes they go all together, like on their radio stations, and sometimes they do it like all the time, which I'm honestly like, okay, so you got a grip on that. And what I recommend, so like you guys are looking around like at the different radio stuff, which is like from different amounts of places, for like for instance like for saying like a lots and lots of different people likes to look at different radio magic. I've been thinking like, hey, why don't we give them that kind of magic like this Christmas? Well, a lot of places are thinking about that. Well, they say, all right, so like for instance, like looking on here, they got, for instance, like this radio station. It's out of West Virginia and Virginia, and it's called Anaheim Mountain Radio, which I think, okay, so there you go. So this right here is a great radio station that the people can listen to like while they are out. Because this is like a local PBS station. They also got their own shopping on there. Kind of like most radio stations, and we like to follow those kinds of radio stations. So sadly in that area, they only got one country station. So that means when you guys listen to your country and you guys say, I thought of an idea of like a good radio station that I think the people should listen to, and you guys can just go look around like at the different places, for crying out loud. If you got if you guys don't give these kinds of ideas out to your different family members, they will not listen, which I thought which was a really good idea. Which, like, for instance, which I was also doing some looking around, like, for instance, like at a station that I always listen to, like, for instance, if I go to this one area, and you guys probably already know, that I do lots of looking around on radio stations, like even before I think about it. Even when I think about like what kind of radio stations are we going to listen to, like for instance, like what kinds is there? Because lots and lots of different places do not like to listen to like static. You know, I kind of understand that. Sometimes I'm like on their kind of moods because some places just give lots and lots and lots of static. And then after that, looking at this one area, which is like, for instance, the Newport News area, they got this station on here called 107.3, The Eagle. And I think, why not don't we give that radio station a chance? So like, for instance, when we do some looking around, we click on that nice 7.3 D Eagle, we click on this button, which says Listen Live. Now then, after that, we click on the play button. So then after that, which is really nice, sometimes they usually play a commercial or two, which sometimes when you guys go on like an online radio and you guys say, why don't we listen to like the online radio? Why don't we look around like at the different radio stuff that's from like all around the different places? And they say, for instance, hey Tommy, why don't we do a little trick? Like for instance, I always do this like on the road sometimes. I always, sometimes sometimes I'm just feeling like listening to my own music. And lots and lots and lots of different people sometimes do not like my music. And I'm like, all right, I see where you're going. So then after that, we got WCIS, which is KISS. They also got Listen Live on here, which I'm trying to figure that out. So, which is also looking around like at their different radio stuff that's from like all around the different areas. And I'm thinking, like, hey, if you give out like a really good radio station, you're like, okay, so you're wanting to listen to this radio station, and why don't you give me three options on like listening to like a good radio station? And I'm like, all right, so you want the three options. I got three options for you. Why don't you either one, give me the radio and let me sit up there, or number two, just give me headphones and let me listen to that. So that right there are my choices. But I have some other choices. I can either go home, um, I could either go home and listen to my radio stations there, or I could probably just relax and look on my phone like while we're driving. And then after that, I was like, all right, now I see where you're going. Do you guys see like where I'm going on this? If you guys do, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, because there will kind of be some more videos about this and like what in the world. Like sometimes some people have different radio processes, and sometimes people are just not in the mood for like listening to different radio stations. And I'm like, if you are not going to listen to this radio station, why don't you give us a chance? So like for instance, like sometimes that gets on your nerves and you're like, honey, you need to calm down. And then after that, I'm like, sir, I'm already calmed down. If you get out of my brain, I'll probably be a little bit more comfortable. So like for instance, now looking on that, now let's just see what the problem is. And then after that, we could do like some looking up like on your radios. We can do like some looking up like on the different formats that we can listen to. Like for instance, like if we go down that road, that'll give us more time to do like more radio traffic. Like for instance, like me using my radio scanner, which I really did wish I could use on my last trip, and like listen to it, which I kind of understand. I kind of understand now that I got to listen to different radio scanners. Like for instance, your AM FM radio, I got to give a chance sometimes. I got to give a chance sometimes different people's radios, because sometimes they sometimes get like a good listen to. Well, if you guys are looking at their different radio stations, and you guys then after that do like some looking up, you guys got like a couple of different options. Are you guys seeing where I'm going on this? I'm trying not to talk about this a whole lot, but sometimes this gets on my nerve. Which, like for instance, I was looking at a video today, like earlier this morning. This guy was going on the Orlando Informer, and I was thinking, how about do they do like one of those programs for us, for the people that's trying to live independently, and um, and like for instance, they got a good radio communication, they got good radio stuff, And then after that, they say, all right, I got you at a perfect spot. And then after that, you get in that line. Then after that, you get on the radio. Then after that, you get off the radio. Say, hold a minute, let me view your format before we get on there. And that's like, okay, so now I see where you're going. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell. And today's question of the day is, if you guys ever get to listen to your favorite radio station, either in the car or on the phone, what would you guys use? An internet browser or just an AM/FM radio repeater?